Thank you for being here this evening. I'd like to welcome you to the City Council regular meeting on Tuesday, October 20th, 2015. At this time, we are going to have an invocation by Jake Romero from La Iglesia Tierra Nueva. And Jake is going to offer us our invocation in Spanish tonight, as his church is pretty much conducted in Spanish. And so we're gonna start with that, after which we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led to us, I can't even talk tonight, so I'm just going to say, led by Bridger Kimball. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. All rise, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Please bow your heads. Dios de la gloria, Señor, te queremos dar las gracias. Gracias, Padre, por tener el privilegio de vivir en este país, los Estados Unidos de América, Señor. Con ese privilegio vienen grandes compromisos, Señor. Somos una ciudad sobre la montaña y queremos una ciudad que sea construida en las bases del respeto, del amor, de la armonía, Padre Celestial. Señor, pido por todos los miembros del Consejo de la Ciudad, Padre. Tu palabra dice que toda autoridad es colocada por ti, Señor. Y con esa autoridad viene responsabilidad, Señor. Pido que les des sabiduría para tomar las decisiones correctas, Padre Celestial. Señor, que les des justicia. Que tomen decisiones no basadas en sus propios quereres, Señor, sino en lo que más convenga, Padre, para toda la comunidad. Y que les des amor, Señor, porque no importa qué tanto hagamos, si no tenemos amor, Señor, tú sabes que no somos nada. Señor, entrego esta reunión en tus manos, pido que la armonía, que el respeto y que sobre todo, Señor, tengamos presente que todo lo que hacemos lo hacemos primero por nuestros hermanos y lo hacemos por ti, Padre Celestial. En el nombre de Cristo Jesús he orado. Amén.
Please follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Jake. We appreciate it. Thank you, Councilmember Kimball. Okay, we'll move right into the roll call, please.
Councilmember Chapados?
Here.
Councilmember Kimball?
Here.
Councilmember Manfredi? Here. Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Wade?
Here.
Vice Mayor Brown?
Here.
Mayor Price?
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. Thank you very much. We're going to lead into item 3 here, proclamations, acknowledgements, and awards. And although you probably don't see anything on your agenda there, we have an announcement from our Historical Society and the Copa History Hunt, and that is Councilmember Wade and Councilmember Chapados. And I will join you down there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, it's Henry Wade and Peg Chapados. And we appreciate the opportunity that you give us this time to be able to do the presentation. As many of you know, we held a Copa History Hunt the 2 past weekends, registering the weekend before last and then the final on last weekend. And we had 3 organizations that worked together with us. That was the CERT team, the Maricopa Youth Council, and the Maricopa Historical Society. And as a result of the community and the support from the community and those who participated in the event, we were able to raise a little bit of money. And that was the whole idea, is to raise a little bit of money to contribute to those organizations that supported us. Of course, one of the organizations, as I said, is the Maricopa Historical Society. Mr. Murphy, would you come forward and accept the earnings, if you will, winnings? Donation, contribution. We were able to raise enough money to contribute to those 3 organizations $625 each. Yeah. And as a side note, $625. How did you get $625, you say? Well, the young ladies who won the 2nd place decided that they would take their $75 and recontribute it back to the organization, so that we could give $625 to each organization. So my applause to them as well for being so generous. But I have one question for you, though. There's just one question. So as I was doing a little research about your family, wonderful family and contributors to Maricopa, I wondered, was the fact that your mom's name ended with EE a prerequisite for your dad to marry her?
Actually, yeah, no, but it's one of those funny coincidences that, a lot of Lewis in our names. I've got a lot of E's in my name, too. My middle name is Lee.
So EE is popular in your home. All right, well, I just thought I'd ask that question. So congratulations. Would you care to say a few words?
You know, I appreciate those who participated in the history month. I didn't know that I'm president of the Historical Society. I didn't know that I was a person of historical reference until I got a call as a number of people were running around and asking, well, where's the sign that says casinos, casinos, and copper and cotton? As well as the other one was, did the city council ever meet in headquarters bar? And the answer to that, I hope, I couldn't remember, but I hope was no. And I hope it's because, I don't remember because I was in the bar. I hope I didn't remember because of my advancing age. So I hope I got that one right for whoever asked me. So thank you guys. And this was one of those events that we were so enthusiastic about it. Thank you for coming to us. Thank you for getting the questions for us. And we so appreciate this. And it's going to go to help educate some fourth graders. So that's great.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of people enjoy
Great.
it. But one of the,
Oh, no.
am I correct in that you are actually planning on taking and starting history somewhere else?
You know, my job in the cotton industry, I've been out here for 20 years working for, starting off with the legislative affairs and government policy in the industry, and then going into the communications and the research side of things for the same big organizations. And I'm actually moving my office to Memphis. I'm out here, I will be out here. I still have my base out here, but I'm actually going to be moving to Memphis probably around the first of the year.
Well, I would suffice it to say that Maricopa would not be Maricopa without your contributions to this community. And we certainly appreciate and applaud all your efforts and everything that you've done to make Maricopa Maricopa.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
I love
much.
this community, and as you know, I love the people in it, and so it's a
And before you go, one of the things that most of you may not know, well, you should, most of you in this room should know, as history buffs, clearly, but Brent Murphy was one of our founding council members, and he's actually a former vice mayor of the city. And so, you know, we talk about all these different places that you've met in. You know, it's been the school, it's been in churches, it's been in MUSD. I mean, you name it, they did it, because that's what you have to do when you're forming a city. You have nothing, you start from nothing, and look around you. So we want to give him a big round of applause and thank him for everything he's done for the city.
Forgive me, I have a cold, but just so you don't forget everything good about Maricopa, here's some things to remember us by.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you, Brent, for all you've done for us. That'll take us to item 4, which is the report from the mayor. We wanted to, Ruben, are you queued? We wanted to show you that census video. Many of you may have already seen it on Facebook. Some of you may not have, but we've been trying to show it. As you know, we have a special census going on right now. For those of you who don't know, it's really important that you get counted. So when the enumerator shows up at your door, we hope that you'll answer that door. Go ahead, Ruben. City of Maricopa. I can't wait to open my door to the enumerator and be counted. Wait a second, that might be the enumerator now. Let's go check.
Hey, Mayor, you know what day it is today? It's October 1st, Census Day.
Hey, we just got by to make sure you're ready for the census, because you know a complete and accurate count is crucial to our city's financial future.
Absolutely. So we just wanted to come by, say hi, and make sure you were ready for the enumerator to stop by. Awesome.
Thanks, guys, for coming by and reminding me.
Hey, have a good day.
See ya.
say, don't be afraid to ask the door to the owners. Trust me, they're good people.
Yeah, Mayor, they've been screened and fingerprinted, they have badges, so there's nothing to be afraid of.
That's so true. I really appreciate you guys calling and reminding me. Thanks so much. I'm going to get off the phone here so I can go answer the door when the numerator comes. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Somebody else is here.
Hey, Christian, I have an important question for you. Are you ready for the census today? Because you know, the state income and sales tax are distributed back to Maricopa based on our population count. So it's important.
Yes, please make sure you don't have to do it for our numerators, because a complete count will be millions of dollars to Maricopa for the next 5 years.
Well, thank you guys for reminding me. I appreciate it. I hope all the citizens of Maricopa will open their doors in the month of October for their census enumerators when they show up. It's just 6 short questions. It takes less than 10 minutes. But I'm going to say bye to you guys, and I'm going to wait for my enumerator to show up. Oscar-worthy. Clearly Oscar-worthy. Thank you. Thank you. Again, a little humor just to have a good time, but we hope that you'll help spread the word. I think we're approaching the halfway mark as to counts. You probably know lots of people that have not been counted yet, and they have lots of stories about how they've been missed or this or that or the other, but we promise you that we have some amazing people working this, and we have an amazing federal representative, believe it or not, who is doing an amazing job to make sure that everybody is counted over time. So we hope to be done by Thanksgiving, but if you can, in the meantime, let people know to answer the doors. That would be incredibly helpful. So, again, thank you very much. I want to also let you know a couple of things. As you know or may not know, that we have a marketing campaign right now that we are working diligently on. We kind of don't let any stone go unturned when we shamelessly promote our city out there in the bigger world, and we always like to tip people off that Maricopa is the greatest place in the world to live. And so we recently had the opportunity to be on a Channel 3 interview, which we were able to talk about some of the fun and exciting upcoming events. We've been on Channel 15, Channel 12. Channel 12 is coming out to our Mud Run that is being hosted here this week. If you haven't signed up for the Mud Run, I know everyone in this audience wants to run it. Even if you walk it, come on out. It should be a lot of fun. But they're going to come out to the Mud Run, so we'll be on EVB Live here this week. So again, lots of things that we're trying to do to go above and beyond to reach out and get our message out there. I had the opportunity to attend an ADOT meeting as well. There are probably 1,000 things I could tell you that we, myself and the council members, have done this week and the last week, but we're trying to hit just some of the highlights. ADOT meetings, as you know, are crucial to our overpass and protecting our investment there. I had the opportunity to report to each of you this past week. I'd like to thank my council members and Ruben and Jennifer for all the work that they put into the state of the city and making it wonderful. If you haven't had a chance to see it in person, no problem. We're going to post it online for you as well, and so you should be able to review it there at your leisure. But the council members also got to participate this year. We thank you for all of your videos and the information that you conveyed, and we look forward to even more exciting and entertaining things in the years to come as we dream up fun and creative and maybe even a little crazy ideas on what to present during our State of the City address. Also had the opportunity to participate in what seems to be an annual laser tag event this week with Tortosa, the HOA. They did it as a booster for the MHS Rams Booster Club, and so they raised $150 or $120 or so for them. And so again, just the Mud Run is coming up. Also on the State of the City, I wanted to thank the Chamber of Commerce. They were also very helpful. We were looking to evolve our State of the Cities a little bit, and they were very helpful with reaching out to our local business community and raising funds to help pay for the food and the things that were presented to those that had the opportunity to come. And so again, many thanks to them. So with that, I could go on all day, but we'll cut that short and move on to the report from to the city manager at this time. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I have 2 items to report on tonight. The first item is regarding the age-friendly community. And I'm looking at Ruben, so you'll cue up my presentation. All right, wonderful. Next page. Maricopa was one of 4 agencies that was invited out to work with Maricopa Association of Governments, or MAG, in the hosting of the South Korea delegation. They were here to get ideas on how to deal with the economic impact of a rapidly aging society. And we were asked to present our Upstart age-friendly program to them. So we were very pleased, and I believe MAG was very pleased with the information that was shared. They seemed a lot of questions were asked about our program and how we were starting it and why. And so we're very happy and pleased to be able to work with MAG on those efforts. The next item is I wanted to provide you with a brief update just on where I am with filling the finance director position. We've received 45 applications for the director position. I'm inviting 5 candidates out to interview for the position. They will first be interviewing with a panel, which will consist of the departments that they will end up working very closely with, and typically they're the larger departments such as public safety. Also, I've asked Jennifer, my assistant, to participate in that initial interview. At the conclusion of that process, they will end up recommending about 2 or 3 to me of what they consider to be the best qualified applicants, and then I'll do the final interview. I anticipate having the position filled within the next 30 to 60 days, if everything goes well. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, City Manager. We appreciate it. Now it'll lead us to the number 6 on the agenda, which is the call of the public. This is your opportunity to approach your City Council and tell us what's on your mind. It's not an opportunity in which the Council typically responds to, simply because it's not agendized. So we ask that you keep your comments short. We have a little timer up here that will provide some fun and exciting little buzzing sounds to let you know where you are. And if you go over, this nasty red flashing light with this annoying sound will go off, but you'll know when you get there. So anyways, we encourage you to come up and say hello to us. Time is yours.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, members of Maricopa, this is Ram Pride Week, Paint the Town Red Week, and I want just to make sure that you are aware that there are a number of activities taking place throughout the city of Maricopa to celebrate homecoming. In fact, it is the 60th anniversary of Maricopa High School, so that's even more important, even more of an emphasis. The team is 7-1, and so they're really on fire as far as the game, so the game should be a really great game. And as I said, there's a number of activities. If you will contact or look in local newspaper, and Hey Maricopa TV is another opportunity to get some information on what exactly is taking place. Tomorrow is the alumni football game, so we're hoping that we'll see all of you out there, and there's a number of other activities that you can get online or at the local newspaper. So if you are a local business and you have not entered the Paint the Town Red contest yet, then you're behind the power curve, because there are some outstanding folks out there that are doing. I think the State Farm, Courtney Tyler, is vying to win the title again. And she's working very diligently to do that. So somebody's got to come and try to beat her, or else she's just going to just take the trophy if she thinks she's going to do that. But anyway, it is, as I said, Ram Pride, Paint the Town Red Week, and hope to see you out there at some of the activities and events. The kids would certainly appreciate seeing you. Not to mention the fact that the game's on Friday, so you got to come to the game as well. Thank you very much. See you somewhere.
Thank you, Henry. We appreciate it. And that is absolutely right. Let's support our Rams this week. Anyone else?
Hello. Thank you, City Council members, for letting us be here and speak to the public. My name is Juan Carrillo. I'm a DECA officer for Maricopa High School, and this is David Schaefer, excuse me, and he's also a DECA officer. And we want to speak to you guys about Shark Tank this year. I know last year it was kind of a small event. It was kind of a startup of what we wanted to incorporate for this year, which is On November 19th, it's from 5 to 8 p.m. It will be at the PAC in Maricopa High School, and we are looking for, more participation this year. Last year we had 26 participants, and we're looking to at least double this year, and we're opening it to middle school and the elementary schoolers this year, and we've had great turnout on registrations from the 20+1 programs from both Maricopa Wells and Maricopa Desert Winds. And David Schaefer will be speaking to you guys about possible sponsorships that we're looking this year to sponsor possible tokens of registrations from participants, something that they can take home and say like, oh, I was able to compete in Shark Tank and I would like to come back and do it again.
So what we're trying to do is gain more sponsors in the community. I've been communicating with a lot of local businesses. We are looking for more businesses, particularly ones in the Maricopa community, that would be available to sponsor the events. Not only will most of them get like logos on our t-shirts and on the pamphlets and whatnot, but they'll also get the recognition during the events. So, I mean, that just goes to show for sponsorships. And there's a wide variety of different sponsorships you can choose, but that's what we're looking for in the community. If you want to talk more about how we can contact each other, or we all go.
So this year we have created a website. It's maricopasharktank.com, and that's available for anyone who's willing to contribute or sponsor. There's a little sponsor link where you can donate from $50 to up to $500. And our goal this year was to at least raise $500, and we've almost hit that mark. So we're just looking for a great turnout this year. I know last year we had 150, and this year we at least want to get it to 100 more people. We just really like the support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Cynthia, did I see your hand raised out there earlier? And I have a speaker card for you. You can speak later if you want.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. Last week you collectively talked about the state of the city, so I'm here to talk about state of Art on the Veranda. Okay, Art on the Veranda started 2 years ago, and it was held at the Duke Golf Course. And in 2 years, we've grown with more artisans and more patrons. It was only 1 day. However, this year it's going to be 2 days. So nice. The Art and Veranda is going to be held November 7th and 8th between 10 and 4. We also have increased our advertising to go through Pinal County and hopefully hit more of the Phoenix area. Our goal is to get those people to come to us, like you say, to see our fine city and buy our beautiful work, okay? Also, so far, the Art and Veranda this year is turning into more of a community activity. First of all, we actually have, under the direction of Maria Poor at the high school, students who have already self-juried their art will be displaying it at the show. They'll have their own tent and their own gallery, and they're going to be selling it. And that's sponsored by Art on the Veranda. And then the other thing is, a little bit like Brent, the Historical Society will also have a tent. We're going to help them promote their campaign. And the other thing is, we still have the majority of our artisans are Maricopians. And we have 40+ artisans. So, as you know, we have a lot of talent in this city. In order to keep up with this growth, we have a new idea. Everybody will be getting, ladies, my ladies will help me pass out these coupons. And when you come to the show, it's not if, when you come to the show with this coupon, you can redeem it for a raffle. And then the raffle, you can choose the door prize of your choice. The door prizes are donated by the artisans. So we're getting you there to enjoy the show, okay? Oh, I do want to take this time to thank the council in your efforts to continue supporting the arts in Maricopa, and particularly with the resources that the Maricopa Center for Entrepreneurs does for us. They have really helped the art community. So thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. We appreciate it. Absolutely. Anyone else at this time would like to approach the council? Call the public. Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the call to the public. Thank you for your participation. That'll take us on to item 7, which we have minutes for items 7.1 and 7.2. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the agenda minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. On to number 9, the consent agenda, or excuse me, number 8, we have no public hearings at this time. So number 9, the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve consent, please? So moved. Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on consent at this time? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And that'll take us to item 10.1, where the mayor and city council shall discuss and possibly take action on appointing one citizen to fill the vacancy on the nonprofit funding evaluation committee. This is for discussion and action. I believe this is Councilwoman Chapados' appointment. So we'll turn the time over to you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one applicant, Mr. Michael Mays. I'm not sure if Michael's here this evening. Mr. Mayor, I would like to at this time nominate Michael Mays for appointment to the Nonprofit Funding Evaluation Committee.
Okay, so Council, you've heard the proposal, Michael Mays. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve, please? So moved, Mr. Mayor. Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Councilwoman. And we'll move on to item 10.2, where the mayor and city council shall hear a presentation from Judith Zamont regarding a proposed artwork display at City Hall. And we'll lead off with Christy.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, about 2 months ago, the city manager, myself, Councilmember Chapados, and Councilmember Smith met with some members of the Maricopa Arts Council. And one of the discussions, that's something that has kind of come up several times, is to have art displayed here at City Hall. And the city manager had given them direction to put together a proposal of what they would like to display and take it to the PRL for their recommendation to you. It has gone through that process, and Judith and I sat together with some of the final things that they're proposing, and she and Dan Beach have put together a presentation for you tonight, and they are looking for your approval to go ahead and get these pieces up in City Hall for a display. So with that, I will welcome Judith Zamont and Dan Beach to the podium.
Wonderful, thank you.
Mr. Mayor and the City Council, Mr. Rose and all the city officials and everybody in this chamber this evening. Dan Beach of MCE, the director, and a spearhead for arts programs in Maricopa, and myself, a composer who is also an advocate for all the arts, come to you tonight to speak about displaying art by Maricopa's own hometown artists on the walls of City Hall. We're meeting tonight in a terrifically noble building that opened 2 years ago, a wonderful facility for meetings, conferences with excellent office space, and a gracious lobby for public gatherings that occur from time to time. Yet, when our city's artists entered this space, the first thing that grabbed our eye were the tall, white walls crying out for work by hometown artists to be displayed there. After all, what could be more perfect than displaying art by the people on the walls of the people's house? Tonight, we take the last step in the process to get that done, formally presenting you a selected portfolio of 24 works by 11 Maricopa visual artists, which are meant to serve as a first exemplar gallery at City Hall. This portfolio is not at all meant to champion the work by any specific artist, and in fact, it has been presented in every instance coming through the vetting process without any artist name attached to any image. We would like you to focus on the images, not who may have created them, but please rest assured that they are all Maricopa residents. That's because the portfolio is not a summation, but it is merely an example. It hints at the variety and absolutely confirms the caliber of visual art pieces created by Maricopa's own. This first gallery is meant to begin a continuing series of galleries at City Hall, all comprised of works by Maricopa's hometown creative talent. The portfolio was arrived at in a joint process by 3 different Maricopa agencies, each vitally concerned with the arts. Maricopa Arts Council, of which I am one of the co-directors, and MAC's mission is to empower the arts and artists in Maricopa. We were joined by representatives of Art on the Veranda, and you just heard Cynthia talk about their wonderful upcoming art fair on November 7th and 8th. Art on the Veranda is a splendid, wide-ranging annual artisan fair showing and selling works by both artists and artisans. And of course, Dan Beach, director of Maricopa Center for Entrepreneurship. Dan has been hosting a very interesting informal gallery in the MCE spaces for more than a year, a gallery that has consistently grown in its appeal and dimension over time. Representatives of all 3 agents met in midsummer to nominate a slate of artists. Each of these artists had already passed through at least one jurying process previously. These were, again, people whose work had stood the test of examination over time. And the process resulted in 11 participating artists included in the portfolio. The artists range in age, and they are all Maricopans. Everyone range in age from 14 through senior citizen. And they include actually 3 artists born in Arizona, 2 of them born in Maricopa. The works illustrate 4 different media, 7 photographs, 2 tapestries, 2 examples of folded paper art, correctly called quilling, and the rest being paintings. A side word about these works. We all know that visual art goes way beyond mere depiction. It instead offers an interpretation of what it presents. And these works are not portraits or landscapes per se, but something much deeper. For instance, there are 2 images in this portfolio of 24 that portray people. These are both Maricopa residents. This is, one of them actually is live in the chamber back there by the door. The young woman who is portrayed is in a very imposing photograph, I might say. That photo is 4 feet tall. Is a talented violinist, wife, mother, and an experienced teacher. The other, the picture behind, back by the door, is an expressionist portrayal of a gentleman in his senior years who trained as a violinist all the way up through college, played professionally throughout his life, but began his life earning money as a professional boxer. And so you see in that picture both sides of this individual captured. We see his energy and vigor and his musical passion. The whole portfolio, as Ms. Reister says, has already been approved by the PRL committee and withstood close examination by Christy Reister herself on several occasions. And it has also been discussed in committee meetings with Mr. Rose and with a number of members of the City Council individually. Tonight's presentation is our final courtesy presentation. This chamber right now is packed with a number of Maricopa artists, and they're not just visual artists. There are artists, artisans, and musicians here. May I ask everyone who is an artist to stand up? thank you. We appreciate what you have accomplished and what you continue to create. What better way for our city to celebrate National Arts and Humanities Month, right now, October, than to finally certify this gallery to go forward on City Hall walls, the first of many, we hope. And I will note in closing that it is going to wait to go up until after Art on the Veranda has been completed. We are a cooperative community of artists in Maricopa, and we collaborate across discipline lines. Now, I turn this over to my colleague, Dan Beach, to talk about the nuts and bolts.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Council members, MCE supports the arts in Maricopa for 3 reasons. First of all, the arts have a significant economic impact on the local community. McKinsey & Company did a study in 2009. In the study, they found that in their cases, there was a 600% to 700% return on investment in the arts. It's amazing that that small of an investment could have that much of an impact. The same study found that art helps communities acquire large corporations because corporations find that it's easier to retain employees in the situations where there is art in the community. So having a strong art community in the city of Maricopa will help economic development director and her department in her quest to bring businesses to Maricopa, the large businesses that we're all looking for to come here. Second reason is that art contributes to innovation within a community, something we work with a lot at MCE. There's some studies out that talk about what they call the rise of the creative class of workers, and they're saying that may compose sometimes 30% in a city. Those are the scientists, the engineers, the designers, the researchers, the analysts, the technical people, and then basically sort of the knowledge industries. And as we all know, those are typically high-paying jobs, and the studies have found that the cities that have art in the community attract those kinds of people, obviously generating an enormous amount of revenue for the community. Finally, the arts promote tourism and other indirect economic activity in the town. One of the case studies, they found that, this happened to be in a Canadian town, but the art in that town created 1 additional job for every art job. So for every artist in the town, there was an additional job that was created by that artist in some of the ancillary fields. You're talking restaurants, coffee shops, hotels, other services. And that's not counting the follow-through on the money. As the money comes down from the artists, from the tourism, from the events that art creates, those dollars trickle down in the community and have an additional 1/3 impact. So overall, we're very supportive of the art in Maricopa. That's why we've had the gallery, and that's why we're a part of the committee that helped to bring art here to City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Council, questions? Yes, Councilwoman Smith.
I really don't have a question. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Judith and Dan, during the work session, I talked about how important arts was in our community, and I challenged our community to get involved in I had been to the first presentation of the Maricopa Community Theater this past weekend and how wonderful that was, and then the concert in the park, and then just like the Historical Society, and Brent, I know you're excited about this art, just like the Historical Society and all the diverse ways that they have found to present our history, I want to commend you too as well, and the MAC and all of the directors of MAC for finding very creative ways to get into our community. They have held, probably like 6 art galleries, which I've been to 3 of them, and in very interesting places, and you're now, or not, maybe not yet, but coming up being in the library. And I love the whole aspect of the art getting up into our public buildings. And I'm really excited about that. We do have a plethora of talent when it comes to all different types of art. Our choirs, our instrumental group, yes. And it's just amazing what talent we have. And so I'm very, very excited. And council, I don't know how you're going to vote, but I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Let's color those walls. And I'm really excited. So I'm glad to have you here, and I totally support this.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions for the Arts Council? Yes, Councilmember Wade.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, I'm really pumped up to see it as well. I'm glad we're going to see some color on the walls, and I would be concerned. One concern I would have though is that there is so much to display. What would be the actual operational process? Will we be able to see it on a rotating basis? Will it just be this art that's being presented to us now? I'm curious about that, just to give an opportunity for others to participate.
I think, again, this was intended to be just a representative gallery. We expect that in yes, exactly, the first of many galleries. We don't anticipate this selection being on the walls for more than 2, maybe 3 months. We see a lot of opportunity for a lot of artists, whether it could be individual artists having an entire gallery to themselves, or a group like this in the future.
Well, that's great. I'm happy to hear that, because you get an opportunity for so many other people to participate. So I'm like Nancy, it's so nice to be able to see the art in different venues, and as you know, I try to expose my grandsons as well, you know, to make sure that they have an appreciation. So thank you very much for what you're doing, and thank you to the artisans for all the effort and hard work that you put into it on a regular basis as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and other councilpersons who've come to the MCE Gallery. We appreciate it very much.
I have a question for you as it regards to, and I'm happy to hear that we're going to rotate through these things. I think that's kind of what makes it exciting to come back, right, is that you never know what you're going to see. And clearly you'll probably go through similar processes of evaluation through the PRL or through the Community Services Department. But one of the questions that I had is, as it pertains to how will you coordinate then with the Historical Society? Clearly you heard a presentation tonight in which they're trying to do what seems as though a more permanent display, so clearly we don't want it to conflict in the respect, not necessarily of artwork, but rather the space that you're requiring. That's what I'm getting at.
We understood from a representative from Mr. Rose's office that there was a corridor set aside for Maricopa's creative artwork to come up, and that is the corridor right behind where you're sitting right now. So we are not going to be in the same corridor. Oh, is it this one? It's this one. I'm turned around. The building is noble. It confuses me. And so where the maps and the historical photographs are, that is has its own flavor, its own importance to the city. Right. So we are looking then at past, present, and future, or, you know, relishing and taking to heart all the legacy that is rolled up into Maricopa, and then looking ahead to what might become and what's spouting out right now. So they are being kept in separate places. And we are hoping to hang this gallery, by the way, the week of November 15th. Wonderful. So we've had a prelude to art on the veranda at MCE, one of MCE's many, many interesting events. And then we will have not a postlude, but afterglow from art on the veranda coming up in this gallery. Let me say one other thing. Maricopa Arts Council, as a spearhead for the process, was charged by Mr. Rose in a meeting that I believe Ms. Chapados and Ms. Smith attended, council members both. We were charged only with doing one gallery. We are not looking to preempt or take over in any way a process that is situated on city places. We do feel that this is the people's house, the way the White House in Washington is the people's house on the federal level. We are looking to enhance the experience of visitors and maybe to entrance, excite, puzzle, or enthrall anybody who sees this work. We will be happy to participate in the future if that is the pleasure of the city. But right now, we just want to get something on the wall.
I couldn't agree more. And, you know, it's interesting you mentioned the White House. One of the things that the White House does is they have a segment of walls throughout the course of some of the different levels where they put up photographs, and the photographs are constantly changing as things happen. And when you look down those halls, you'll see that staff and employees and visitors are always stopping to look because things are always changing. It's not always the same. And so I, for one, really would like to see that, you know, whether we call this a pilot program or whatever the semantics from a name perspective is, I'd like to see that we get our foot in the door here and as you change this, see that we have 6 months to a year to watch you change this over, you know, every 2 months or every quarter, and let us kind of go through it to see how things evolve, and I'm excited to witness that.
Mr. Mayor, are you charging Mac now with continuing this?
I'm charging with being prepared. Be prepared.
Artists, are you listening? We see thumbs up in the back of the room.
Excellent.
We will do our best. But again, we just wanted to show you an index of quality, because those of us who have chosen to live here in Maricopa, and 8 of the 11 artists in this portfolio were not born in Arizona or Maricopa. They chose to move to Maricopa. We are looking forward to making our contribution on a continuing basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Council, any other questions or concerns on this? If not, can I have a motion to approve this, please? So moved. Have a motion. Is there a second? A second. And a second. Any other discussion on this item at this time? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to all who have participated this evening. We appreciate it. That concludes our meeting. Can I have a motion to move to E-session, please, Council? So moved. Have a motion. Is there a second? Second. And a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. The meeting adjourns. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.